Hello friends. Welcome to Defense Matrix. On this channel you will get fully information about defense and technology. Let's view the video. America's Ace of Aces / Richard Bong. The rise of a legend. Who was Richard Bong? In the annals of aerial warfare, few names echo with the same legendary status as Richard Ira Bong, the quiet farm boy from Wisconsin who would go on to become America's Ace of Aces. But who really was this man behind the stick? How did an unassuming young man from the rural Midwest rise to become one of the most decorated fighter pilots in U.S. history? Born on September 24, 1920, Bong's love for flying began early. By the time he was in college, he was already taking flying lessons and impressing instructors with his raw instinct and coordination. When World War II broke out, Bong enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Forces, and what followed was nothing short of a meteoric rise. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't boastful. But what set Bong apart was his unshakable calm under pressure, deadly accuracy, and an almost supernatural ability to anticipate enemy movements. While others might freeze in the face of danger, Bong thrived, turning every mission into an opportunity to protect his squadmates and outwit enemy pilots. Despite numerous warnings and even getting grounded for reckless stunts during training, Bong's daring spirit never faded. He once flew low enough over San Francisco to knock laundry off clotheslines, a bold move that got General George C. Kenney's attention. But even Kenney saw something exceptional in Bong, and instead of punishment, he got a chance to prove himself in combat. That chance came in the Pacific Theater. And Bong seized it with both hands. War in the skies, the P-38 lightning in Bong's deadly precision. If Richard Bong was the sword, then the Lockheed P-38 Lightning was the blade he wielded, and together, they made history. The P-38 wasn't just any fighter plane, it was a technological marvel of its time. Sleek, fast, and deadly, it featured a twin-boom design, twin engines, and 4.50 caliber machine guns plus a 20mm cannon in the nose. No propeller in the way meant unmatched shooting accuracy. For most pilots, the P-38 required adaptation. For Bong, it became an extension of his own reflexes. It was in this aircraft that he would claim his record-breaking 40 aerial victories, a number no other American pilot has surpassed to this day. Bong's deadly precision wasn't luck. It was a combination of technical understanding, combat instincts, and hours of studying enemy flight patterns. He treated each battle like a chess game, always staying one move ahead. Whether facing nimble Japanese Zeros or more aggressive fighters, Bong used the P-38's superior altitude performance and diving speed to his advantage. He flew low. He flew fast. And when it mattered most, he was lethal. One moment he was a dot on the horizon, the next, an enemy pilot was spiraling out of control. Bong turned the P-38 into a skyborne predator, using its design and firepower to dominate the Pacific skies. His bond with the aircraft was so profound that it almost felt like a partnership, man and machine working together in perfect harmony. In fact, Bong named his aircraft Marge after his sweetheart, painting her portrait on the nose. It was personal. Every mission, every battle, every kill, it was for love, for country, and for survival. Master of aerial combat, how he became America's top fighter ace. Richard Bong wasn't just a great pilot, he was a master tactician in the skies. Becoming the top American fighter ace wasn't about pure aggression. It was about strategy, discipline, and anticipation. And Bong had those in abundance. He didn't just shoot down enemy planes, he outflew them, outthought them, and often, outweighted them. Bong knew that patience could be a weapon. In dogfights, he'd often hold back, waiting for the perfect angle. His kills were clean, precise, and efficient. No wasted bullets. No wasted movement. Just cold, calculated execution. What made Bong especially dangerous was his ability to read a fight before it began. He studied enemy tactics relentlessly. He knew which direction they'd turn, when they'd climb, how they'd try to escape. It was as if he could predict the future, and his opponents never saw him coming until it was too late. But being a top ace wasn't just about skill. It was about survival. Bong flew over 200 combat missions, many of them in brutal conditions with limited fuel, faulty equipment, and the constant threat of ambush. Each mission tested not just his abilities, but his mental toughness. And through it all, he remained humble and focused. He never let his fame go to his head. In fact, when he broke Eddie Rickenbacker's World War I record, he didn't even celebrate. He said, "I'd rather have a couple of Jap planes to my credit than all the medals in the world." By the end of his service, Richard Bong had earned America's highest military honor, the Medal of Honor, and had become a symbol of courage, excellence, and technical mastery. But more than that, he became a name that would live on in every Air Force manual, every flight simulation, and every young pilot's dream of the skies. Military strategy meets innovation, U.S. air power in World War II. World War II wasn't just fought with soldiers, it was won with strategy and innovation. The skies became the new battleground, and America knew early on that air superiority would be the key to victory. In this race for dominance, the U.S. Army Air Forces placed its bets on technology, training, and tactical innovation, and pilots like Richard Bong were their sharpest weapons. The Pacific theater presented a unique challenge. Japan's Zero fighters were agile, fast, and ferociously aggressive. To counter them, the U.S. needed more than bravery, it needed cutting-edge aircraft and evolved aerial strategies. This is where the Lockheed P-38 Lightning came into play, a machine built not just to fly, but to dominate. U.S. military planners devised new combat formations, radar-guided tactics, and long-range bombing campaigns, combining human talent with mechanical brilliance. Richard Bong operated within this framework, but what made him special was how he transcended it. He wasn't just following orders, he was rethinking how aerial combat could work. Instead of textbook formations, Bong favored split-second improvisation. He turned the vast Pacific skies into his chessboard, using altitude, speed, and sun angles to gain the upper hand. And thanks to superior U.S. logistics, he flew with access to maintenance crews, spare parts, and intelligence that most enemy pilots could only dream of. America's dominance in the air wasn't accidental, it was built on the backs of brilliant engineers, fearless strategists, and warriors like Bong who combined brains and bravery. Every mission he flew was part of a larger plan to cripple Japan's aerial capabilities, protect ground forces, and pave the way for Allied victory. Richard Bong wasn't just a lone wolf. He was the sharp edge of America's high-tech sword, proving that superior strategy and advanced defense technology could turn the tide of global war. Legacy of a hero, what today's fighter pilots still learn from Bong. Richard Bong's story didn't end in 1945, it lives on in every cockpit, simulator, and military academy today. His tactical mindset, fearless decision-making, and mastery of technology have become part of the Air Force's DNA. Modern fighter pilots study Bong's techniques to learn how to balance instinct with discipline, how to trust the machine but lead with the mind. His legacy isn't just about the kills, it's about courage, humility, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. In the age of stealth jets and drones, Bong's spirit still soars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel Defense Matrix for more interesting and knowledgeful videos.